Alright, fellow Arrow fans, time for the final episode review of the day, which is Sah-him. 3 weeks have passed and Oliver learns that Dick has shown up. He tells Oliver that he has been there this entire time. Dick tries to talk to him, but Oliver has been brainwashed into being Sah-him. He then stabs Dick, revealing that it wasn't Dick, but someone else. In the past, the radio announces a state of emergency in Hong Kong. Oliver and Maseo and Tatsu are trying to contact Akio. Raish takes Oliver to a gravesite and tells him about Damien Dark, before telling him that he must kill someone without mercy who is a threat to his reign. In Starling, Canary's going after criminal when Nissa shows up to show that it was a training. Laurel says she's hungry, so they go to a diner where they order milkshakes and burgers. Nissa thanks Laurel for showing her kindness. Laurel then tells her that Oliver is in Nanda Parbat, something that upsets Nissa. She then leaves. Felicity and Theo are over at the Diggle home for dinner. They talk about Dick needing to hide his identity. Dick asks Thea how she's feeling about Oliver being gone. Thea mentions not being able to leave the loft, so she was happy to be there. Felicity says not to blame herself. In the past, Oliver, Tatsu, and Maseo find out that people trying to get the cure were getting infected by the U.S. Army. Oliver breaks it up by using guns. Tatsu uses a sword to save the day. Laurel approaches Nissa and apologizes to her for not telling her. Nissa tells her that she has greater concerns, and Laurel says that friends don't leave. Nissa says that men would go after her with many men. Laurel and Nissa approached Dick and Felicity at Palmer Technologies and told them what she knew. Nissa then decides to leave to face Oliver. Felicity doesn't believe anything, so is told. Felicity doesn't believe anything that is told, so Laurel yells at her for it. Laurel puts a tracker on Nissa. In the past, Oliver and Co. blow up their virus in the truck. Tatsu says they have to get back to her son, so they rush off. Felicity's watching the tracker as Dick and Laurel went after Nissa. Dick doesn't believe what Nissa had said. Theo walks into Palmer Tech, approaching Felicity. She brings up helping out on the vigilante front. Felicity says that it's possible Oliver is back with a leak in town. Felicity said they're handling it, but Theo wants to get through to her brother. Nissa's standing on the rooftop where Sarah was murdered. Oliver shows up and Nissa asks him questions, but he doesn't answer. It results in them fighting together on that roof. He sends the kill shot when Laurel and Dick show up. Laurel uses the canary cry that Cisco made for her. When Dick says he can't let him hurt Nissa, Oliver rushes off. Nissa yells at Laurel as a result. Dick talks to Felicity and they're upset with what had happened. Dick hugs Felicity. Oliver returns to meet up with Maseo in the League. Maseo asks questions. Thea calls Malcolm and they meet up. She wants to know information about Oliver. Malcolm refuses to tell her way to meet up with Oliver at first. Felicity is invited into Dick's home and they find something wrong. Baby Sarah's crying. Dick picks her up. Oliver kidnapped Lila as a way to get them to bring Nissa to the League. Dick and Felicity go to talk to Nissa and Laurel about what happened. Nissa apologizes for it and they'll argue about how to go about doing it. In the past, Tatsu returns to their son and he is okay. Oliver suggests they get out. Oliver tells Maseo to search his friends, excluding Felicity when she makes a fuss, before Lila is brought forward. Felicity spends the time trying to reach Oliver, but Nissa knows that it is no use. She is bound whilst Lila is let go. Nissa refuses to kneel when asked. Since Felicity wasn't searched, it allows Timur to shoot some of the assassins. Nissa and Laura both get knocked down, with Oliver going after Dick. He injures his friend but is stopped from taking a kill shot by Thea dressed up in black. She threatens to shoot him in the eye. He walks off. Dick, Laurel, Thea, and Felicity head back to the foundry. Laurel freaks for Nissa and Felicity is upset due to Oliver being gone now. They found that Oliver is gone but never forgotten. Oliver returns with Nissa to Nanda Parbat. Rachel looks for Nissa's things for something she had taken from him. Nissa vows not being afraid, as Oliver is said to kill her. He grabs a sword and is about to hurt her, but is stopped. Raish then mentions making them husband and wife, something she doesn't like. In the past, the family and Oliver rush out through the chaos. They sail a vehicle, but Tatsu notices blood dripping from Akio's mouth. Felicity approaches Thea, and Thea says they should have let her die. Felicity admits to being in love with Oliver. Felicity says they need to move on and remember the best parts. Felicity then tells Thea that Roy is alive and gives her his location. Dick looks at photos of him and Oliver as Laurel tries to eat a french fry that has been dipped in milkshake. Ananda Prabhat, Raish tells him that to become demon he would have to destroy his home. Raish gives him the Alpha Omega virus to unleash on Starling City. Dun dun dun. So now let's take a look at some trivia surrounding this episode. It's revealed that in order for the heir to the demon to become the new Raish Al Ghul, two things are required. The individual must kill their rival who considers himself or herself the worthy successor to the current Raish Al Ghul, and wipe out their hometown. In this episode, Raish tells Oliver about Damien Dark, who will later become the main antagonist of the next season. According to Raish, Dark once tried to buy the Markov device and send Mark Shaw to steal secret files from Argus. Those events were seen in Tremors and Corto Maltese. This is the first episode of the series that Oliver serves as an antagonist and Nyssa serves as the protagonist. This is also the second episode to feature member Team Arrow as an antagonist after Roy Harper in Seeing Red. Oliver's league name and the episode's title, Sah-him, is Arabic for the arrow. This episode's opening monologue starts with "My name was Oliver Queen" instead of the usual "My name is Oliver Queen." Oliver tells Diggle to meet him at a warehouse at Fullerton and Halstead. Fullerton and Halstead is the real intersection of Chicago, Illinois, best known as the location of the former Biograph Theater, where legendary bank robber and gangster John Dillinger was killed. This is the first episode in which Black Canary uses her canary cry. And now, finally, let's take a look at some goofs. During the scene in which Nyssa informs Team Arrow Rachel goes to plan to have Oliver hunted down, Dave Ramsey mistakenly calls Nyssa Felicity. When Sah-him caught Nyssa on the rooftop, he held his sword to Nyssa's left side of her neck. However, when Nyssa and Laurel are talking in the next scene, the wound is seen on the right side of Nyssa's neck. In the flashbacks, Maceo and Oliver detonate a large amount of explosives right in the middle of the Alpha Omega virus store in the truck. Melissa certainly destroys some of the bioweapon. The heat of the explosion may aerolize at least a portion of it, thus spreading it further. It's unknown if Maceo and Oliver took this into consideration before setting the detonator. So overall, I think this episode is pretty darn action-packed and also pretty good, but yeah, just again, everything that's happening to Oliver this season is just like, oh man. So yeah. So overall, I give Sah-him 4 arrowheads out of 5. Alright, tune in tomorrow as we take the next episode. This is your sword. So until then, in the words of Oliver Queen, you have failed this city.